Actor Robert Downey Jr. is known for roles in a wide variety of movies, including Iron Man, The Avengers, and Sherlock Holmes. He won an Academy Award for the 2023 biopic Oppenheimer. Who is Robert Downey Jr.? Actor Robert Downey Jr. is best known for his portrayal of Tony Stark, aka superhero Iron Man, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe film franchise and roles in movies like Chaplin and Tropic Thunder. Downey made his first movie appearances and was a cast member on Saturday Night Live in the 1980s, but his growing success was marred by years of struggles with drug abuse, eventually turning his life around. He earned a resurgence of critical and widespread acclaim and is now considered one of Hollywood's A-list actors. Downey gave an Oscar-winning performance as Louis Strauss in the 2023 biopic Oppenheimer, and will return to the MCU in 2026 as villain Dr. Doom. Childhood. Famed actor Robert Downey Jr. was born on April 4, 1965, in New York City, the son of the avant-garde filmmaker Robert Downey Sr., best known for the 1969 film Putney Swope. Downey began acting as a young child. His mother, Elsie, was an actress who instilled in her son a love of performing. Raised in Greenwich Village with his older sister, Allison, Downey made his film debut playing a puppy in his father's film Pound in 1970, in which actors played dogs. He would go on to have small parts in several more of his father's films. Downey's parents divorced when he was 13, and the young actor ended up living in Los Angeles with his father. At 16, however, he dropped out of high school and was on the move again, relocating to New York to live with his mother. Early movies. Downey made his earliest feature film appearances in such films as Baby, It's You in 1983, Firstborn in 1984, Weird Science, 1985, and Back to School in 1986. From 1985 to 86, he was a regular cast member of Saturday Night Live, NBC's popular sketch comedy program. Downey's first leading role on the big screen was as a charming womanizer in The Pickup Artist in 1987, a romantic comedy co-starring Molly Ringwald, written and directed by James Toback. His breakthrough performance came in 1987 with Less Than Zero in 1987, where he co-starred with Andrew McCarthy. Downey played the party-loving, cocaine-addicted Julian Wells in the film. Movies of critical acclaim. By the early 1990s, Downey had established a reputation as a critically acclaimed A-list actor. He earned praise for his comic turn as a shifty soap opera producer in Soap Dish in 1991, co-starring Sally Field, Kevin Kline, and Whoopi Goldberg. More adoration followed when Downey landed a featured role in Short Cuts, 1993, the critically lauded ensemble film by Robert Altman. A particular high point in Downey's career came in 1993 when he was nominated for an Academy Award, Best Actor, for his performance in Chaplin in 1992, directed by Richard Attenborough. In the highly acclaimed film, which didn't go over nearly as well with audiences as with critics, Downey nimbly portrayed the legendary Charlie Chaplin from ages 19 to 83. The role displayed his dramatic range and his considerable talent for physical comedy. By this time, the 27-year-old Downey had come to be seen as one of the most gifted actors of his generation, but he had also earned a reputation as a troubled and controversial figure in Hollywood. Natural-born killers and Richard III. In the wake of his critical success with Chaplin, Downey anchored a documentary about the 1992 presidential election, The Last Party. In 1994, he appeared in the romantic comedy Only You, and in Oliver Stone's acclaimed but controversial Natural-Born Killers. The following year, the actor starred in the period film restoration alongside Meg Ryan and Sam Neill, an updated film version of Richard III, co-starring Ian McKellen and Annette Bening, and the Jodie Foster-directed Home for the Holidays, also starring Holly Hunter. Substance abuse problems. While Downey's acting prospects appeared on track, his personal life would be in turmoil for the next few years. Downey was introduced to drugs at the age of 8 by his father, and developed a full-fledged addiction as he headed into his 20s. Until Less Than Zero, I took my drugs after work and on the weekends, he later explained. Maybe I'd turn up hungover on the set, but no more so than the stuntman. That changed on less than zero. The character was an exaggeration of myself. Then things changed, and, in some ways, I became an exaggeration of the character. That lasted far longer than it needed to last. A stint in drug rehabilitation followed shortly afterward, but Downey's struggles with drugs and alcohol would persist for years. In June 1996, the actor was stopped by police after driving naked in his Porsche on Sunset Boulevard, and found not only to be without clothes but in possession of cocaine, heroin, and a .357 Magnum. Less than a month later, and just a few hours before he was slated to be charged, Downey ran afoul of the law again after he was found passed out in a neighbor's house. For the next several years, Downey's life was a haze of headline-generating, dependency-induced mistakes and their consequences. There was a 12-month stay in prison and another visit to drug rehab. In November 2000, Downey was again arrested, this time in a Palm Springs hotel room, where he was discovered with cocaine and in a Wonder Woman costume. He was charged with felony drug possession. Downey's trial, initially set for late January, was delayed for several months while his lawyers negotiated with prosecutors. In March 2001, the two sides failed to reach a plea bargain, and the case was set for a preliminary hearing at the end of April. On April 24, 2001, Downey was arrested for allegedly being under the influence of an undisclosed stimulant. Moved to television with Ally McBeal. Despite his turmoil in the early 2000s, Downey continued working. He gave a memorable performance in Wonder Boys in 2000, and had roles in several other films, including Automotives and Lethargy. Additionally, Downey moved to the small screen in 2000, becoming a regular cast member of the popular show Ally McBeal, starring Callista Flockhart. Downey once again reminded fans and critics of his talent, likability, and versatility with this new role. He went on to pick up a 2001 Golden Globe Award and won a Screen Actors Guild Award soon after. But Downey's increasingly complicated personal life pressed his employer's patience. After that second arrest in April 2001, Downey's tenure on Ally McBeal ended. Producers had decided to wrap production of the final episodes of the season without the actor. Around this same time, lawyers reached an agreement with prosecutors that required Downey to plead no contest to cocaine-related charges. He was sentenced to 3 years probation, a ruling that allowed him to continue live-in drug treatment instead of returning to prison. Downey didn't return to scripted dramatic television until 2024, when he portrayed 5 different characters in the Max miniseries The Sympathizer. His performances earned him a Supporting Actor nomination at the 2024 Emmy Awards. Iron Man and the Avengers franchise. Downey established himself as a box office star by playing wealthy industrialist-turned-crime fighter Tony Stark in the smash hit Iron Man, based on the Marvel Comics superhero. The film grossed more than $318 million domestically, leading to the release of sequels in 2010 and 2013. Stark would also become one of the central characters in the series of Marvel Cinematic Universe films that followed, headlined by The Avengers in 2012 and its 3 sequels later in the decade. The movies featured a bevy of Hollywood talent as iconic Marvel heroes, including Chris Evans, Captain America, Don Cheadle, Colonel James, Rhodey Rhodes, Mark Ruffalo, Hulk, Samuel Jackson, Nick Fury, and Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, among others. Downey would reprise his Stark/Iron Man dual role for Avengers: Age of Ultron in 2015, Captain America: Civil War in 2016, Spider-Man: Homecoming in 2017, Avengers: Infinity War in 2018, and Avengers: Endgame in 2019. In July 2024, Marvel Studios announced Downey will return to play villain Doctor Doom in a new installment titled Avengers: Doomsday in 2026.